as I inform you, I have registered you to Toastmasters International as a member effective 1st of April. What does it come to your mind when you receive an email from Toastmasters? Anyone? You may be wondering, how do I get to access my basecamp? How do I choose my pathway? And how do I know which one is the right one for me? Is it true? Type 1 is yes, and 2 is no. Yes. Because I was also a new member like yourself when I first joined Toastmasters. And when they signed me up as a member, at that time, no one guided me on how to navigate the basecamp. So that's why I make for myself that I would like to help new members to navigate their basecamp and feel comfortable. Because in my opinion, without being able to navigate your basecamp, you will not get the full benefit of Toastmaster, which is working on your projects, deliver your speeches. Because in each Toastmaster project, it has a different purpose. And from the basecamp, then you will have checklists and you know the purpose of your speech. Because as we learn that for each speech, there is a purpose and audience. And we have to tailor our speech based on the objective of the speech. We cannot just talk about anything. So by having this session today, I will try to help you to navigate the basecamp. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask at the end because we will have a Q&A sessions. Now let me share screen. Navigating Pathway by Ronawati Wongso, DTM. And I would like to introduce myself a little bit before we go on. So I am a Toastmaster member since October 2019, and I am 5 times DTM. Maybe you are still wondering what is DTM. This DTM is a distinguished Toastmaster, and only less than 2% of Toastmasters are DTM. And because there are a certain path that you have to take to gain DTM. So like if you study at a university, at the end of your study at 4 years, you will get a degree. So this is the degree from Toastmaster, but it doesn't have to take 4 years to achieve it. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 12 years, so really up to you on how fast you want to get it. And I am 5 times DTM. I completed 11 pathways. When I started, there were 11 pathways, but nowadays there are only 6 pathways to choose from. And pathway mentor program within 6 years. So 5 DTM within 6 years. I was a Division B Director 2023, 2024, Area B1 and B2 Director. And I also have held various executive committee roles. So today, my objective is to help you to navigate your pathway. Log in to your Toastmaster website, choose your pathway, launch and activate your project, browse your projects. When you complete your project, when you complete your level, when you complete your pathway and call to action and Q&A. So you will get a certificate for each level completion and for each pathway completion. First of all, let's set up your login credential. I believe that you all received an email from Toastmaster. Please let me know if you did not receive an email because I have registered all of you. Does anyone receive the email? Yes? Okay. Yeah. And if you do receive the email, I will show you on how to get to the basecamp. So I will introduce you to Toastmaster Education Program. Toastmaster Education Program is called Pathway. And this is developed for Toastmasters members only. So this is specifically exclusive for members. So let's say if we have guests coming to our meeting, and oftentimes it happens that we have many guests, they can join our meeting, they can join our table topics, but they cannot deliver their speeches because they don't have any access to this education program. So they cannot deliver their prepared speech and they cannot be an evaluator. Now, there are about what is Pathway. I already explained to you. It's about Toastmaster education program. It caters to your needs or interests, and it's accessible online and focus on learning and practicing new skills, not just learning the theory. Because Toastmaster is, I believe, is the only one who help you to deliver your speeches in real time. You practice in front of an audience. Now the question is, how many pass in Pathway? I mentioned previously we have 11, but nowadays we only have 6, which is presentation mastery, engaging humor, dynamic leadership, motivational strategies, visionary communication, and persuasive influence. So only 6. And what difference are there? Now let me explain a little bit. So if you are, this depends on your goal and interest. Let's say if you just want to be able to make a presentation, public speaking, then this one, say 1 and 5, it means like presentation mastery and engaging humor, meet your objective. However, if you want leadership component, here strategic leadership, then you can choose dynamic leadership and motivational or motivational strategies. And if you have 1, 3, and 2, it means public speaking, strategic leadership, and interpersonal leadership and confidence. Yeah, 5 is confidence. It means all have confidence. Persuasive influence and visionary communication is right for you. Maybe your question is, what is 4? I don't see any 4. Yes, I think in this 6 pathway, we don't have 4 management, but in the previous one, the 11 pathway, there are some pathways which has management skill. And I think Toastmaster narrow it to 6 based on what most Toastmaster members take the pathway. Now the question is probably, I don't know which one is right for you. For me, then there are two methods. First, usually for new members, I encourage them to take presentation mastery or engaging humor. This is the very basic one. The second one, you can take online access, which I will show you how. And then Toastmaster will give you 3 recommendations. Usually one of the recommendation is presentation mastery, and the other 2 is depending on your answer to the online assessment, and they will give you some recommendation. So it is not always that you have to take presentation mastery or engaging humor. But for me, my first pathway is presentation mastery. Why? This is the basic one. The project is relatively easy, in my opinion, because there are no long project, because the one which has leadership sometimes has a project which can last 6 months. It means that you have to volunteer in a nonprofit organization. You can volunteer in leadership positions, or maybe you can take some exco position. But to take another path you don't have to complete one path and take another path. You can take 2, 3 paths together. Let's say that you have a project which lasts 6 months. You don't have to wait until you complete and then you do your next speech. No, you can take another pass and do the project while completing your existing project. Yeah, but for 1 and 2, for presentation mastery and engaging humor, there are no long projects. And I will show you, we will come back to this on the filing, on the organization of your projects. Yeah, because for me, I use this timeline. Previously, when I started, no one tell me. So this is just my method. So it's really up to you if you want to use it, because this is not Toastmaster. This is how I organize my files. Yeah. Rather than going back and forth, maybe let me explain. In pathway, for one pathway, you will have 5 levels. Yeah. Starting with the foundation, the basic. Actually, what you learn in Speechcraft is in level 1. Some projects in level 1, but you are still missing a couple projects. And then level 2, basically knowing yourself, either your communication skill, your leadership skill, about mentoring, yeah. And then third is start building your skill. So you still have required course, but you also have elective, 2 elective in level 3. In level 4, you go deeper and you have 1 elective. In level 5, you speak professionally and you have 1 elective. So here, usually when I get a new pass, I immediately see all of the project and put an Excel. Yeah. So that's why this is like for level 1, everyone is the same. You have like icebreaker, writing a speech's purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, evaluation and feedback, first, second, and evaluator. And then the level 2, depending on your past, could be understanding your communication style, sometimes understanding your leadership style, active listening or research, or introduction to Toastmaster mentoring. I think every pass has it. And then starting the level 3, it really depends on your past, because this can be different. I put 3-1, mean understanding emotional intelligence. This is the required course. And 2 and 3 are elective. And please note that I put the level is in front. That's the numbering part in front. And then the project, it means like level 1, project 1, level 1, project 2, level 1, project 3. And then in project 4, there are 3 projects. There are 3 projects: first speech, second speech, and evaluator, etc. So this is just on how I will come back to this, yeah. But let me share about how to navigate your pathway before we go deeper. So let me get to share the screen. First of all, I would like to strongly encourage you to bookmark toastmaster.org, because here we often use it. So I bookmark the website, I save my password, because that makes life easy, because we open this website almost every day. Yeah, so you don't spend too much time looking for the website, looking for your password, your user ID, etc. First of all, the user ID and password which you use in Speechcraft can only be used in Toastmasters. Yeah, so you don't have to change that. And then as a new member, for me, because I am an existing member, I just go to basecamp. But for you as a new member, then they will have like choose a path. Yeah, choose a path. Then you can either choose if you know what you want. For example, after my explanation, you know, oh, I want to take this path. Then you can just choose that path, click. For the first pass, it's free. Because when you pay, it's including the new membership fee of $25, including 1 pass free for you. Yeah, so you don't have to pay anything, just choose the pass. However, after the first pass, and you want to take the second one, then you pay $20. Yeah. Now, assuming that you already choose your path, that you already register, then the next one, sometimes it takes a little bit long, yeah, to get the pass show up in your basecamp, because it could be 10 minutes or sometimes it could be the next day. Yeah. Then you get this one, go to basecamp. Okay. Here, let's say that I choose presentation mastery, because the path that you choose will show up here. So you just click. presentation mastery. Okay, can you see? Yeah. Now, let's go to the overview. Now in Toastmaster, in order to complete each level, you have to take a certain roles because being a role taker also help you some skill. Yeah. So for example, here in level 1, we have, as I mentioned, level 1 is mastering fundamentals. You learn about icebreaker, writing a speech with purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, evaluation and feedback, and level 1 completion. Now let me go over one by one. For example, when you click icebreaker, oh, by the way, when you see the check mark green, like in my case, yeah, for example, let me show you first in the overview. When you see here the green check mark and also there is check mark here, it means this is the project that I have completed. With no check mark, it means that I haven't completed. For example, level 2, I haven't done it. Level 3, I haven't done it. And level 4, I haven't done it. Maybe your question is, can I do it not sequentially? It means, can I jump from one level to the next? In theory, you can. But since this is your first pass, I suggest that you follow it subsequently because it will teach you about a different skill. But if you take your second or third pathway, then of course, then you can just do as you like. But for me, if I can, I will just follow, what Toastmaster presented. But sometimes some projects come at a time when the opportunity is not always there. For example, we have a Toastmaster who wants to have a workshop or a webinar which require a panel discussion, for example. Then they ask for role takers. Who wants to be the Tom, the Toastmaster of the meeting? Who wants to be the moderator? This project doesn't come every day. You can, of course, coordinate the workshop. That is one option. But also there are opportunity. For example, if they ask who wants to be a Tom, because that could be your project too. Because in one of the project, it could be you can manage online meeting. You can have, if you are a moderator, actually there is a project for being a moderator. And there are other roles. So if that is the case, usually I just jump. If I know, that's why, when I get a new pass, I look at all of the projects because sometimes suddenly an opportunity come for me. It's a level 4 project. And I said, well, it's in my project. So I will just sign up. Okay, I'll take it because then I can complete my project. Yeah. So that's why when you receive your pass, I suggest that you start inventorizing what you have in your project. The same like I do when I show you about the timeline earlier in my PowerPoint, then you write like this one, okay? And then when you have this, for you who have completed your project in Speechcraft, you can get credit. And I will let you know which credit that you can mark complete on your project. For example, if you do the first project, the icebreaker project, then you can mark complete your icebreaker project. Now let me show you on how you start your project. You click on the icebreaker project. Okay, this one icebreaker. Okay, basically you read all of this. This is our online learning, yeah? And there are PDF file here. For me, I download everything. That's why to make it easy, I will number it. So I have it's easy for me to find. For example, project checklist. I will put this is level 1, project 1. So I will put 1.1 project checklist, 1.1 evaluation resource, 1.1 print icebreaker project, 1.1 icebreaker speech outline workshop. I will show you my file later on, but I download each one of these. Yeah. And then you read all of this. You just follow. It's like the same like when we learn online class, then we just read each one of this. Since we don't have time, I will just next. And we come to the end. For example, if let's see, then you complete your assignment. Okay, once you complete your assignment, then you read this. It means that you have to schedule with your VPE that you want to deliver your speech. You have rehearsed yourself and you have to write your speech. This is a prepared speech, yeah, different from impromptu speech. That's why it's called prepared speech, because you need to prepare. It means that you don't come to the meeting and then, well, some people, if you are already very expert, yeah, and very confident, you can do. Actually, you don't have to write your speech. But for me, initially, I write my speech, and even until now, I still write my speech. But some people who is very expert, like maybe some of our speakers, they can come without writing their speech. But as a beginner, I strongly suggest that you write your speech, because then you can review your speech. Maybe you want to delete, you want to add, you want to expand, you want to reverse chronologically, sequentially, etc. Yeah. So I would strongly for you schedule your speech with the Vice President Education. Some of you may be asked, shall I schedule first or prepare first? For me, I schedule first. Because when I schedule with my VPE, it's a commitment. Because sometimes when you say, well, let me finish first and then I schedule, it will, basically you don't have a deadline. And it could be dragged on and on, maybe next week. For example, in this speech craft, you all have to deliver a speech every week, right? So you have a deadline. You don't have any options. If you don't deliver, then you just miss it. So for me, it's scheduled with your VPE. So if there are any opportunities, sign up. And usually our VPE is also very active. We'll ask you if you want to deliver your speech or if you want to take a role. Yes, schedule your speech with Vice President Education, write your speech, rehearse your speech, communicate with your evaluator. By the way, I think we saw that there was an evaluator resources, right? I will go back. When you give your evaluator resources, I would expect you write your name, the date, and your title, your speech title. You can leave the evaluator name blank, because sometimes we can change evaluator at the last minute because of emergency, for example. But let's put it this way. An evaluator is giving you a gift by being your evaluator. And we try to make their life easy. So we already gave them field evaluation resources, and we give them without being asked. It means that don't let your evaluator chasing you. It's the meeting is like in tomorrow, or it's in 1 hour, and I haven't received my evaluation form. I think that's not nice, right? Because we already asked them to give us a gift. And we are not cooperative by giving them or make their life easy. So if you already know your evaluator, you can either give the evaluation, even if you don't know your evaluator, you can give the evaluation to the VPE and you write your name, title, date. Yeah, at least 1 day before the meeting. Applying feedback is the most important step to improve public speaking. Create plan for applying the feedback. In Toastmasters, we don't have a teacher-student relationship. We all are peers. We learn from giving and receiving feedback from one another. Because by giving feedback, we know what is a good speech is. We know what is the positive and what needs to be improved. By receiving, because when we deliver our speech, we have a blind spot. So somebody will evaluate us. Oh, where are we good at? Where do we need to improve? Yeah, so that's how we learn. So none of us are, you are not being judged. We are not better. We all learn from one another. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, because this is the place to make mistakes. Yeah, nobody laugh. Choose one piece of feedback that is reasonable to apply to your next speech. Share with your mentor, a friend, or your next evaluator. When all components of your assignment are finished, complete your self-reflection. Okay, this is the evaluator, but give the form rather than give the link, because most of the people want to see the form. Yeah, in the PDF session. Okay, and complete your project. And I want to show you, this is okay. If you want to do that, that's okay. Review, and here, yeah, here that when you complete your project, because I already completed, it shows congratulations. But actually, before I click on the drop-down menu, then this one has an options that you have completed, and then your club, and then you click, then it means your project is completed. So let's see that you have completed your icebreaker speech. I will not ask you to repeat your icebreaker speech in Toastmasters, because you already done it in Speechcraft, for those of you who already done it. Then I will ask you, please go to this section, complete your project before you move on, and put project completed. So you click, you complete the project, then you get a green check mark on your project. Yeah, it means that you already completed. Then the next one is writing a speech with purpose. It's the same thing, but let me go back to the evaluation form, yeah? Okay. Go back to the evaluation form. Get started. Okay. Icebreaker. Okay. Now let's download this one, evaluation resource. The evaluation usually is 2 to 3 minutes, and speech usually is 5 to 7 minutes, but you need to check, yeah, on your speech length. What I mean is here, when you give your form to your evaluator, please fill out the member name, which means your name, the date, and the speech title. And here you can know the speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. For the evaluator, it's always 2 to 3 minutes. Do you see this form? Do you see the evaluation form or not? No?
You can see, Bu.
You can see, yeah? Okay. Yeah, okay. So this one is completed. How much time do I have? Already read. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
For Q&A, only 3 minutes, or I just put it.
Yeah, but let me just get a little bit on the organization, yeah, of how I organize my my Toastmaster project. Before we move on, I would like to say that first, prepare speech, you need to write. Second, you need to rehearse. Yeah, for me, usually I rehearse like at least 10 times. You can first read your script a few times, and then you can start presenting. Either you can video yourself in front of the mirror, in front of your friend, whatever method works best for you. Yeah. And let me show you, let me share how I organize my file. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. Here I have presentation mastery, which means like it's my pathway. And then visionary communication. This is how I organize my folder. But this is my way. So it's really up to you on how you want to do it. I just share on how I do it. For example, in presentation mastery, then I have event and photo because we always have photos, group photo. And I put level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. So it's easy for me. And then in level 1, I do like this one, you will see the numbering. So it's easy for me to find. And I always put my script here. For example, 1.1, the road I travel. 1.2, the power of 3 days water fasting, etc. Okay. And we have, you need that, when you do your past completion project, that is the last project in this level. So rather than looking, all of your projects, then you will look at one place at my timeline. Okay. So here, you see, I have written all of my project here, including, it's like my journal for Toastmaster. So if you see like icebreaker, it means it's my project. But in every meeting that I attend, I put it here because I don't want to remember and look at my calendar. Later on, let's say that you are serious and you want to become a DTM. Some of these are required or asked by in the DTM application. For example, the date that you attend the district training. I have to look my calendar or I can look at my timeline. Yeah. So here, if you see this at the left, it means that I'm doing a project. But when there's nothing here, it means that I'm attending other meetings in Toastmaster. And if you see, there are two, timeline and pathway. So initially, when it's blank, the pathway is only take the project. Pathway is only take the project. So nothing about the meetings I attend in not doing my project. Why do I need this? Because if you see at the end of each level, there is pathway completion. In pathway completion, you have to reflect on what you learn and what you have done in this project, in this path. So rather than looking, at all the places, what you have done, what project you have done, so I just make it a summary here. It's easy for me to look. Yeah. Okay. Now let me continue a little bit on the PowerPoint. Let me come back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so we already have this. Can you see? Yes. Okay, and then we have this. I have shown you also the pathway. Yeah. So there are two tabs. I have this template in the member resources later on, which I will share with you. And then the filing. Yeah, so like this. And I will have a new member resources. So the key takeaway is 1, log into your toastmasters.org. 2, activate and launch your pathway. 3, activate and launch your project. 4, mark as complete your project and level. And 5, as your VPE to approve in basecamp. So once you complete your level, please inform your VPE because they need to approve in the basecamp, and you will receive a badge when you complete each level. A badge and a certificate. And then 6, rinse and repeat the process, mark as complete for your pathway. And call to action, choose and activate your pathway and start delivering your speech and project. I think one more thing that I would like to add is that in level 1, project 4, there are 3 projects. You can deliver any topics. You deliver your first speech, you are evaluated, and then you deliver your second speech, taking into account the feedback that you receive from your evaluator. And then you can deliver either the same speech with improvement, or you can deliver another speech. And then the third one is being an evaluator. Yeah. So the most important thing is log in to your Toastmaster and choose your path. So back to our Tom.